Nearly every day for the past year, I have paddleboarded, kayaked, run, or hiked around the sinuous circuit that is 5 Mines River, Stitch at my side. We begin our journey each day just a dozen yards from my front door, board and oar hoisted above my head, and move cautiously down the sloping, rocky bank to the water's edge. I lower my stand-up paddleboard, the cheapest one I could find, into the water, mindfully avoiding the jagged rocks that could damage my board. I wade out into the shallows, flinching at the bite of cold water against my skin, and steady it so Stitch can climb on. I hoist myself up onto my knees behind him and paddle out to the center of the river. With long, even strokes, I pull the oar through the murky river. The newly risen sun, intermittently peeking through heavy, slow-moving gray clouds, reflects off droplets of water kicked up like sparks. The late October morning air is bracing and smells of decaying leaves. I revel in the sights and feel of the river, but I can't hear the slap of my oar against the water, can't hear the cry of the seagulls overhead, can't hear Stitch's playful yips. I'm still trying to come to terms with this. The temperature is forecast to dip just below freezing soon, and when it does, I will reluctantly stow my board in the storage shed next to my kayak until spring. In front of me, like a nautical figurehead carved into the prow of a sailing vessel, sits Stitch. His bristled coat is the same color as the underside of a silver maple leaf in summer, giving him a distinguished air. He is 3 years old and 55 pounds of muscle and sinew, but often gets distracted and forgets that he has a job to do. Normally, when I go paddling, I travel an hour and a half north to where 5 Mines abruptly opens into a gaping mouth at least a mile wide. There, the riverside is suddenly lined with glass-sided hotels, fancy restaurants, church spires, and a bread factory that fills the air with a scent that reminds me of my mother's kitchen. Joggers and young mothers with strollers move leisurely along the impressive brick-lined riverwalk, and the old train bridge that my brother and I played on as kids looms in the distance, out of place and damaged beyond repair. Kind of like me. Once I catch sight of the train bridge or smell the yeasty scent of freshly baked bread, I know it's time to turn around. I much prefer the narrow, isolated inlets and sloughs south of Matthias, the river town I grew up in. This morning, there's only time for a short trek. I have an interview with oncologist and hematologist Dr. Joseph Huntley, the director of the 5 Mines Regional Cancer Center in Matthias at 10. 5 Mines provides comprehensive health care and resources to cancer patients in the tri-state area. Dr. Huntley is also on staff at Queen of Peace Hospital, with my soon-to-be ex-husband, David. He is the head of obstetrics and gynecology at Q&P and isn't thrilled that I might be working with his old friend. It was actually Dr. Huntley who called me to see if I was interested. The center is going to update their paper files to electronic files and needs someone to enter data. Dr. Huntley, whom I met on a few occasions years ago through David, must have heard that I've been actively searching for work with little luck. David, despite his grumblings, hasn't sabotaged me. I'll be lucky if he can muster together any kind words about me. It's a long, complicated story filled with heartache and alcohol. Lots of alcohol. David could only take so much, and one day, I found myself all alone. I come upon what is normally my favorite part of 5 Mines, a constricted slice of river only about 15 yards wide and at least 20 feet at its deepest. The western bank is a wall of craggy limestone topped by white pines and brawny chinkapin oaks whose branches extend out over the bluff in a rich bronze canopy of leaves. Today the river is unusually slow and sluggish, as if it is thick with silt and mud. The air is too heavy, too still. On the other bank, the lacy leaf tendrils of black willows dangle in the water like limp fingers. Stitch's ears twitch. Something off in the distance has caught his attention. My board rocks slowly at first, a gentle undulation that quickly becomes jarring. Cold water splashes across my ankles, and I nearly tumble into the river. Instead, I fall to my